Hello, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. So today I noticed my husband has these gigantic, heavy books of Shakespeare. And so I spent about 20 minutes learning everything there is to know about Shakespeare. And I'm here to share that with you now. And that's a joke, because obviously I don't know much, but I'm trying to learn things. So anyway, I thought I'd show you these. We have two books here. This is The Complete Works of William Shakespeare. And that one we'll look at in a minute. Let me try to, without hitting anything, move that. And then this one is pretty cool. Recently, we were in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and went to a museum called the Frick Museum. And they had the first folio of Shakespeare on display, or a few of them, I don't really know. But anyway, and so we went and saw that, and it was pretty interesting. So this, my husband's like, oh, I have it at home. But this is a copy of the first folios. So I'll pull it out and show you. Hold on. There's a picture of a painting of Shakespeare. I'll set this over here. So the first folios were written after Shakespeare's death. Sorry, let me open this up. Okay. So they have a little here about it, but they were put together after Shakespeare's death. And before that time, some of his plays had been written out, but not all of them. And some of the people who were friends and worked with him in the theater with Shakespeare made printed copies of all the plays, and I think 18 that had never even been printed before. And if they hadn't done that, it's possible they would have just been lost to history. So these were published after his death. And I think I read it has 36 plays in it. And what this book is, at the Folgers, it's called the Folgers Library or something, they have a few of the folios. It says on here somewhere. But anyway, and so they took the best pictures of the page because there were different printings and different ones came out better, or they, fixed mistakes. So they took a picture of the best page out of the folios that they had access to. So this is sort of like pictures of the best page from different folios. Does that make sense? So it's kind of neat. The folios were printed in 1623, so that was after Shakespeare's death. But this book is from the 1990s. My husband was a playwright at the time, and so he was kind of interested in it. Here it says 1623. One thing, when you look at these old English writings, you feel like, ugh, I can't read that. It doesn't even look like English. But let me find this one. Okay, here's a good example. The biggest thing that'll throw you off is they have a thing called hard and soft S. So like this says, I don't know if you can see it, it's so heavy to lift. Okay, there we go. So it says loves, labors, lost. But if you look at it, it looks like lose, labors, loft. And it's because they would make a soft S was kind of like an F without the crosshatch on it. That's not what you call it. I don't know what you call that thing that goes that way. So these have like a Z sound. So it's loves, labors, and then the F kind of thing has a hard, actually it's a soft S. I take it back. These are the hard S, and that's the soft S. So it's loves, labors, lost. So the soft has a sound to it. So you'll see that a lot in these old printings. Like, it's so hard to hold it up to here so you can see, but so it says like, thou shalt be heavily punished, and it looks like an F here and an F here, but those are actually S sounds. And I feel like once you know that, that helps a lot with reading these old texts. So anyway, yeah, so this is kind of neat because it's actual pictures of the folios. And there's like the 12th night, Richard, Henry IV, tragedy of Richard III. What else is in here? What's this one? The prologue. The tragedy of, boys, I don't even know this one. Troilus and Cressida. I have to admit, no, that one. I've only seen a few of Shakespeare's. I mean, well, I saw the Macbeth with why am I forgetting their names? It's Julius Caesar. Boy, I can picture her from Fargo, and Denzel Washington. That was a pretty good version of Macbeth, actually, if you ever want to watch it. And then there's a version of Hamlet with Richard Branagh. That was from the 90s. And we saw that in theater, and when the ghost comes, it like swirls around your head. And they had an intermission. It was great. Actually, I really enjoyed that. Othello. I saw that in the theater. That's a really good play. Anthony and Cleopatra, never seen it. I've actually never seen Romeo and Juliet. Not even the Leonardo DiCaprio version. Here's Hamlet. My husband has marked that page, it looks like. Oh, one other thing about these old printings, they didn't have standardized spelling back then. So a lot of times different printings would spell the words differently. And I was reading right before, it's even Shakespeare. He spelled his name, I forget now, it was like 36 different ways during his lifetime. That's kind of interesting. I mean, you don't even think about that needing to be. Okay, well, so I thought, oh, Henry V. I'm looking to see where Romeo and Juliet's got to be in here. I think. The Winter's Tale. King John. All's well that ends well. The Taming of the Shrew. As You Like It. I saw As You Like It at Western Michigan University one time. It was great. A really great production. The Merchant of Venice. I don't think I've ever seen Midsummer's Night's Dream. I take it back. That's what I saw at. Well, then I saw both of these. My husband was in a version of As You Like It that was set in like the South, like 1920s South or something. Midsummer's Night Dream, yeah, that's a fun one. Love's Labor Lost, Much Ado About Nothing, yeah, I've seen that. Some of these they've made into like current movies. You know, if you look them up, you'll go, oh, that's based on Shakespeare. Merry Wives of Windsor. Two Gentlemen of Verona, The Tempest. Okay. You guys know I'm going to get out my little cards. I may have to close in a little bit. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see. So Shakespeare has three types of plays. Some people would say four, but oh look, I think my Trader Joe's magazine got black ink all over my desk. I'm gonna have to clean it. Oh well. So there's the comedies, the tragedies, and the histories. And just some examples, just so that. So the histories are like Henry, Richard III. There are a lot of them about kings and stuff, and they're actually historical plays about real people. I've really never seen any of them. I think I saw one history one time, and I'll be honest, I found it a little boring, but that's just me. Okay, and then you have the tragedies, like Hamlet, Othello, Romeo and Juliet, and Macbeth. And if you're ever in a theater, you don't ever say that word in the theater. You say the Scottish play. You can call the person Macbeth, but you can't call the play that name. You have to say the Scottish play, or the actors get very upset because it's cursed. So if you say that in the theater, so you might just cause trouble. Okay, the comedies: A Midsummer's Night's Dream, As You Like It, Much Ado About Nothing. So I didn't do them all, but just like so you understand what kind of plays. So the comedies are literally comedies. They're like kind of fun and silly. There can be some serious themes in there, but overall they're more like fun. The tragedies are almost always, a guy hears the girl did something terrible and he kills her, and then he ends up killing himself, or he hears she died. I don't want to spoil Romeo and Juliet for anybody, but and then, people die. Anyway, so they're tragic. And then the histories are historical. So those are basically the three types of plays: comedies, tragedies, histories. I did read there's some people who think there's a fourth kind of play, but I don't know. So that's something you should know about Shakespeare. Okay. That's all I have to say about that. Just had to get my cards out, Did I spell tragedies wrong? Tragedies. That looks so weird. That doesn't look correct. Alright, so then this is William Shakespeare's The Complete Works. And it's kind of a cool scene of London on the front. And Shakespeare, I believe he did like all his plays at the Globe Theatre in London. I remember being in, I'm thinking, is it San Diego? And they had like a Globe Theater there that was sort of a, it looked like, what is my husband done here? I gotta see what this is. Oh, I don't know why he put a paper cover on it. He must have been, I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. This is an old one. This is an engraving of Shakespeare, first published on the title page of the first folio in 1623. Yeah, we saw that just a minute ago, didn't we? What year is this? 1986 this was published, so he had this during college for sure. So this contents has Two Gentlemen of Verona, The Taming of the Shrew, the first part of Henry VI, the third part, okay. King Richard, Comedy of Errors, Love's Labour's Lost, Love's Labour's Won, Midsummer's Night Dream, The Most Excellent and Lamentable Tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. So that must be the full name of it. I've never heard that. the most excellent and lamentable tragedy. That's funny because it makes me think of the most excellent adventure, you know. What am I? You guys know what I'm thinking of. Most excellent dude. Oh my gosh, my brain. I can't think of the movie. Anyway, it's the two guys and their most excellent adventure. The Tragedy of King Richard II. Much Ado About Nothing. Tragedy of Julius Caesar, As You Like It. Tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Twelfth Night, or What You Will. Various poems. Oh yeah, he wrote sonnets. Macbeth. We saw a play. Oops, our friend was in at Arizona State. I think it was. Which is the one with the witches? Oh my goodness. Is that Hamlet or Macbeth? Oh my gosh. Where they go, boil, boil, toil and trouble. Somebody in the comments help me out. I don't know. I can't think anymore. But they had the actor when you go in after the intermission. It was our friend actually, and he was hung upside down. And so he's hanging there upside down, and the witches are all doing that boil, boil, toil and trouble. And he had to hang there, I swear, for like 15 minutes. And his eyes were bulging out. He was so red in the face. I felt so... It was like almost too distracting because I was so worried about him like having an aneurysm or something. Anyway. All right, so I thought maybe we'll just read a little bit of the Hamlet, because when I did the Halloween tour of my mantle, I was trying to do the to be or not to be, and I couldn't remember it. So I thought we'll just read a little bit of it to remind myself. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and, by opposing, end them. To die, to sleep, no more, and by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep. To sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub, for in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life, for who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, I don't know that word, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of an unworthy takes, when he himself might be quietus, make with a bare bodkin. Okay, I gotta stop because I understood it up to about, there's the rub, for in the sleep of death what dreams may come. So that part I get. This is where having a really good actor, when you have a really good actor do Shakespeare, they speak it in a way that all of a sudden you go, oh, I know what that means. While if you try to read it yourself and you don't understand the text, sometimes it's just like words strung together. But I really do think having a really good actor speak it, all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, I'm understanding this. Do you guys know what I mean? But so this is, he's thinking, is it better to die than to keep going on with a very difficult life? But the problem is to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. And then he says, there's the rub, for in sleep of death, what dreams may come. So he's unsure what happens after death. I always like that part. I think that's interesting. Yeah, so there we go. I think my husband did Hamlet right before I met him, so I didn't see him do that. I can't remember now what party he had. I feel like it was Horatio, but maybe I'm wrong about that. I should have asked him, I guess. So anyway, there we go. The works of Shakespeare. Oh, here are all the sonnets. I should have looked up a sonnet. That's kind of easy to read. I don't know offhand. There's so many I didn't even know. Interesting. Is Othello. Sir Thomas More, what was that? Passages attributed to Shakespeare. Yeah, there is some thought that Shakespeare may not have been one person, but a group of people. And part of that's because people think, oh, one guy couldn't have written all these plays. But I'm not sure about that. Just because it seems hard doesn't mean it couldn't have been done. You know what I mean? It's like when people don't believe, like, science because they couldn't think of it themselves. Like, doesn't mean it's not real. And that wasn't like some... never mind. I just mean, like, sometimes people do things that are amazing. Well, I think that's all I learned in my 20 minutes of Shakespeare education. Mine eye hath played the painter, and hath steeled thy beauty form in table of my heart. My body is the frame wherein 'tis held, and perspective it is best painter's art. For through the painter must you see his skill, to find where your true image pictured lies, which in my bosom's shop is hanging still, that hath his windows glazed with thine eyes. Now see what good turns eyes for eyes have done. Mine eyes have drawn thy shape, and thine for me are windows to my breast, where through the sun delights to peep, to gaze therein on thee. Yet eyes this cunning want to grace their art. Thy draw but what they see, know not the heart. Okay. I just thought of something. Let's look up Shakespeare in this book and see if we see anything interesting. This is the Dictionary of Cultural Literacy. You know I love pulling it out. You can find everything in here. Let's see, Shakespeare. Ooh, look at this. Shakespeare, William, 128, 135 through 36. See also names of Shakespeare's plays. Ooh, I don't know about all that. Let's go to 128. What are they talking about? Did I read that right? Shakespeare, 128. They must be talking about Macbeth here, I guess. A tragedy by William Shakespeare in which the Scottish nobleman Macbeth, misled by prophecy of 3 witches. Okay, the hanging upside down thing was Macbeth. I should have known that. And goaded on by his wife, murders the king and usurps the throne. Yes, goaded on by his wife, Lady Macbeth. And that's right, and Lady... Hold up. Save that page. Lady Macbeth is the one who has convinced him to kill. Is this right? And she gets blood on her hands, and no matter how much scrubbing she does, she can't get the blood off her hands, and she goes, out, out, damn spot. And that's where, if you ever hear anybody say that, out, out, damn spot, that's from Macbeth, from Lady Macbeth trying to rub the blood off of her hands. Well-known lines from the play include, lay on, Macduff, out, damn spot, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. Oh, look, here's Midsummer's Night Dream, a comedy by William Shakespeare about a group of lovers who spend a night in a forest where they are victims of fairies' pranks and enchantments. One famous line from A Midsummer's Night Dream is, Lord, what fools these mortals be. I think my voice is giving out. Oh, The Merchant of Venice. Look how many are on this page. Oh, it's because I'm in literature and English. It's like, wow. A comedy by William Shakespeare. The most memorable character is Shylock, a greedy moneylender who demands from the title character a pound of flesh as payment for a debt. Let's see if there are any others on here. Okay. They said page Shakespeare. Where did it go? Shakespeare, where are you? I tell you. How did I lose that already? Shakespeare. Oh, 135 and 136. That was that. Oh, there he is. The Portrait of Shakespeare in the frontispiece of the first folio. Here we go. Shakespeare, an English playwright and poet of the late 16th and early 17th centuries, generally considered the greatest of writers in English. His plays include Antony and Cleopatra, As You Like It, Hamlet, Julius Caesar, King Lear, Macbeth, The Merchant of Venice, A Midsummer's Night's Dream, Othello, Romeo and Juliet, The Taming of the Shrew, The Tempest, The Twelfth Night. Shakespeare also wrote over 150 sonnets. Many familiar sayings and quotations come from his work. Shakespeare was born in Stratford-on-Avon. He spent most of his career in London as an actor, playwright, and manager of the Globe Theatre. His success enabled him to retire to Stratford, where he died. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? The first line of a sonnet by William Shakespeare. The poet notes that beautiful days and seasons do not last, but declares that his love's eternal summer shall not fade, because his poem makes his love immortal. Oh, that's so sweet. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. That is, like, so romantic. I could just cry. Let's look up, shall I compare thee to a summer's day, and see if we can find that. Hold on. Can you even imagine? He knew enough to know that his work would be read for years to come, and wrote that for his woman. And it is being read for years to come. That seems so awesome. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? 18. What? 18. What does that mean? Not page 18, I don't think. Look, guys, these pages are Roman numerals. I should be doing those, but I got it wrong last time, and now I'm scared. Okay, we got to go to the sonnets and find sonnet 18, I guess. That seems like the right thing to do. Here we go. Oh my god, I flipped right to it. What? Did you see that? Look. That's so crazy. All right. We ready to read this? Am I gonna cry? We'll see. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou oust. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growst. So long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So, look, I'm reading this now, and we're remembering this moment. He wrote this in probably 10 or something, about his woman. That's so sweet. I like that. All right, guys, have we learned all there is to learn? I mean, we could look up more plays in here, probably. It looks like there's a whole section on English literature, so we'll do that one day. So I guess we could save it for that. Look, they have world literature, and then English. Oh, there's Frankenstein. I can easily get distracted. I could start on a whole Frankenstein tangent. Anyway, so there we go. The works of Shakespeare. Tragedies, histories, comedies. Shakespeare.